What's up, everyone? Welcome. You hear the songs, you see the faces. That means it's time for another Rev Sports Wrap It Up. I'm Josh Mabry alongside Soul here. And Tushko, we still love you. Can't wait to see you back on this show. But we're going to wrap up the week that was in sports and hopefully see what could be in the future. Soul, how we doing?
Doing good, doing good. Did not go to a preseason Dolphins game this week, but
We want to talk about some Dolphins later.
we're going to talk about some Dolphins later. We're also going to talk about a lot of lawsuits, like just all the lawsuits in sports this past week. So,
Ready to
um,
learn some law.
yeah, put your lawyer caps on. See if Daniel Haygood's in the chat. He
Yeah,
can help us out. He's our resident lawyer, but a lot of lawsuits.
a lot of lawsuits. A lot of lawsuits. But we're going to start off with running the bases, not the lawsuits. And we're going to talk about my Reds. They are flirting with getting into the wild card. And I know that they're flirting in because we called up another guy from the minors, and you don't really do that unless you think that you have a shot. And they're playing well. I think they're 6 or 7 games back from the Brewers. But it feels like it's back and forth. But we are flirting with the wild card, and we should have we had a better team, healthy enough to get there last year, and then but our manager sucks, so we're probably gonna get heartbroken again. But we're there. We're flirting with it. They're giving me hope, which is what the Dallas Cowboys do
That's
every damn
that's
year.
the most dangerous thing.
Yes, that's what's the problem with the Cowboys is give me hope every gosh damn year, and then they get to the playoffs and they suck again. But that's hope. I just want the Reds at least to show progression.
Mm-hmm.
And if they get to the playoffs, especially the way this year is gone, I will take that wholeheartedly for what's going on there. Your Red Sox are doing fine. They're probably going to make the playoffs.
They're beating
Hopefully,
the Astros right now.
yep. So hopefully they can make some noise. They're not going to beat on some trash cans or anything like that that they were allegedly a part of with the Houston Astros
And
way
not
back
just
when.
us two, Yankees,
Oh yeah, no,
Dodgers, a few
no,
other
yeah,
teams.
there was other people, but this we're talking about the Red Sox right now, and they were involved with it too. They their manager got fired out of the blue air. Who knows? No, okay. But hey, guess what? They can't take that. They didn't take the championship away from me. So that's all that matters. A win's a win.
True, hopium is one hell of a drug.
It is, dude. That's why I've been a Cowboys fan for the past 26 years. It's like, well, we've been there before, so I guess we're gonna get there. No, not no 1996. That's it, guys. That's it. That's all we got. Uh, with that, so, but yeah, I'm still have hope that the Reds are going to make the playoffs. And once the thing is, all you need to see the table. That's it. Ask the Arizona Diamondbacks last year had no business being in the World Series final, and they were. So, and they basically snuck in by the skin of their teeth, and they got to the final. Now they got worked by the Texas Rangers, who were clearly the better team last year. And I don't even think the Texas Rangers were the best team last year. But that's what baseball is.
Mm-hmm.
Is the best team typically doesn't always win. So that's what I'm saying. Just get us to the playoffs, and let's see what happens.
Now you're at Hope this week. Where were you at last week, and what's your prediction for where you'll be at next week with the Reds?
As much as I did the doom and gloom last week, we were still playing decently. It wasn't like we were dropping dumb things or anything like that. So I was at like a 2 on the hope meter. I'm like a
Mm-hmm.
5.5 on the hope meter right now.
Okay, out of 10.
Out of 10. So I'm still at 5.5, which is above 50%. So that's why I'm a little bit happier today. Okay, on the hope meter. But as long as
You're above 500.
we're above 500, right? As far as my hope meter, we're not above 500 according to our record. We're like 2 games behind 500. It feels like every time we're taking one step, I forget her name, but we're taking one step forward, 2 steps back on that. Paula Abdul, that's right. She had that song. Take 1 step forward, 2 steps back. So opposites attract. Yep, that's right. I remember the video. It had the animated cat in it. Don't know how my brain remembers that, but here we are. But yeah, no, I'm at a 5.5, and we'll see. Hopefully, I'll be at a 6. I'll put it that way. Just give me just a half better.
And if you go below 500 next week in your hope meter, not in your team standing, how are you going to feel there?
It's just I feel like if the time is now to make the decent run. Christian Yelich is unfortunately out for the season for the Brewers, which is their best player.
Mm.
I don't think the Reds are going to catch up to them. We just got to be better than the other wild card hopeful teams. So that's kind of where it is there. So yeah, if it dips down to a 4.5 or a 5, I'm still okay because there's just enough time. But we got to start rallying some wins together. Just give me that 8 wins that we did early in the season, and I think we'll be okay. But just the Reds are just inconsistent with us. Hopefully, the guy that we called up is going to be good. So that's where I'm at with that.
I'm hoping for you because when Josh's hope meter is closer to 10, we're all happier here. But I think we got some basketball to talk about.
We do have some basketball to talk about.
Well, first off, we're going to start with the WNBA. And the women, they win gold in basketball at the Olympics and immediately go back to playing in the WNBA. So no rest for the wicked. Several Olympians showed, what is this thing you call rest? I don't know what that is. I don't need rest. What is rest?
Water makes you weak.
Water makes you weak. They're just having some great games. So first off, we're going to highlight Kalia Copper dropped 29 points and Brittany Griner dropped 23 in Phoenix Mercury's 85-65 win against the Chicago Sky. The matchup between Camila Cardoso and Brittany Griner, it was pretty comical. And we love Camila here. We have love in our heart for Camila here. We also have love in our heart here for BG as well. Just watch her crying during the national anthem and see how we felt about that. Watch our show last week. But her against BG, that was funny. And they're about this. Camilla's not short.
No.
But
Camilla's thicker.
But it was still a comical matchup. Teaspoon gave her a pretty hard job to guard BG. Surprise, surprise. Angel Reese got 11.15 rebound double-double. Chicago then go on to lose to Phoenix again yesterday, 86-68. DT dropped 23 points. Angel got 19.20 rebound double-double. When I saw that stat, because I did not watch the game yesterday, I watched the first one. I was just like, 20 rebounds? What? Also, we get a new memorable, a new memeable material from DT. She's just showing us all the classics here. I might be getting older, but you're never gonna forget me in this game.
Right. All right. Here we go. Hopefully, I got the right video.
Well, Taurasi and Griner have been playing together for a long time, and as soon as there's little elbow
shoots, and then
she don't take nothing for no one.
And then when she's finally checked out of the game and no longer comes back in, she does the same thing on the bench because, again, DT is DT.
Yeah. Shooting from the free throw line, and that gigantic smile
got her in the chest.
Will send Taurasi to the bench as from the free throw line.
Good old DT.
Good old DT.
Hey, this is her swan song. I think she has more. Maybe you think she has probably one more year left, 2 years left in her.
I would not be surprised if she decides to, unlike Sue, who gave the "I'm retiring next year" kind of thing. I wouldn't be surprised if she said this was it, especially getting the facility that named after her. But I think she might only have a year left. I think she's happy with where she is, and it's going to be interesting to see how much longer we have her for.
Yeah.
But continuing on, Brianna Stewart drops 27 points in the New York Liberty 103-68 win against the LA Sparks. And Sabrina, like a bunch of other people, is like, I'm going to join in on this Turkish guy shooter meme. And we have her here to Stewie. After Stewie goes back to back to back with threes, Sabrina saying, I'm not the shooter, you are, but
Right.
I love that people across all sports, especially we saw it a lot in track and field during the Olympics. Everyone's doing the shooter guy meme.
Yeah, that dude is. Even though he's won a gold medal before, guys. Like
Yeah.
this is the first medal this guy has won. Now, if some murder is not, I'm just saying, if some murder is not solved in Turkey, just throw it out there. Just throw it out there. I'm not accusing anyone. Allegedly. All I'm saying, allegedly, he did this. He took the silver medal on purpose. That's all I gotta say. If you saw the first Incredibles with the son who ran really fast, and they were telling him, "Oh no, slow down, no, get a little bit better." But I just like how the Turkish guy is taken by storm and all that stuff. So
we love him, man.
that's why we love the Olympics, is for those type of things to take effect in cultures.
Exactly. Going on, Olympics bronze medalist in the 3x3 Ryan Howard drops 30 points in the Atlanta Dream 83-81 win against the Seattle Storm. And then Kalia Copper again, she drops 32 points in the Mercury 98-89 loss to the Indiana Fever. With this game, Ka has tied Diana Taurasi and Tina Charles for the second most 30 points performances in a single season by WNBA player, which is 10. Maya Moore is the only one to have more with 12. Caitlin Clark went completely off and continues to go off in her games, but she fire right now. But this game, 29 points, 10 assists, getting her double-double and breaking the rookie assist records with 225 assists. And then
Kelsey, I think she leads the league in assists right now.
Yeah, I think so as well. And then Kelsey Mitchell also has 28 points in this game. And I believe it's between her and CC for the most points for Indiana this year. So I know a lot of people talking about CC, and then we also talk about Aaliyah Boston because we love Aaliyah Boston here. But Kelsey Mitchell has also been playing great for Indiana.
Yeah. So you see here, Chicago Sky. Okay, you got you've got Camilla. You got Angel Reese. Can you find that third one?
I mean, they had Marina Mabry and they traded her.
Well, her last name's spelled wrong. That's her problem. Okay,
and then Kennedy Carter too. I think she's injured right now, but Kennedy Carter, she was going off for a few weeks before the Olympics.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. They need that third person because Aaliyah, CC, and then like you said, Cooper is just
Kelsey Mitchell.
Yeah, thank you. I wrote the wrong thing. Kelsey Mitchell, thank you. Kelsey Mitchell, like you have to have those big three at least at this point. You unfortunately you can't one person can't lead your team. You can't be like an Allen Iverson type thing. That the WNBA is good enough to where you can't just be a one person all. That's what I was saying with Jeremy saying that the Liberty are so good because they got Brianna and Ina Esco.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get Sabrina's last name
Sabrina Nesco.
Right. Well, I'm gonna get her last name right. That's why I'm even calling her Sabrina. I'm going to just work on getting her last name correct.
And then I also like Jeremy here going, was Diana trying to channel her inner Reggie Miller?
Well, that's a whole different story, but yes, we'll go with that. He's the one that really solidified the choke meme that everyone does. So if he made it, everyone did that before, but then when Reggie did it to Spike Lee, like and the Nick fans, it just made it like there's a 30 for 30 about it. Like that's how synonymous that choke is.
Continuing on here, we got Nafisa Collier. She also dropped 30 points. This was the week of 30 points by people that were just like, I'm going to just drop 30. Like, no big deal. In the Minnesota Lynx 99-83 win against the Washington Mystic. And then Aisha Wilson has a 34-point, 13-rebound double-double in the Aces 87-71 win against the LA Sparks. 3x3 bronze medalist Erica Hamby also had a double-double in that game, 13 points, 11 rebounds. But the game that everyone probably watched, if you're watching the WNBA, it had the most Olympians, not just Team USA. We had a German, we had a Spaniard, we had several Olympians playing in this game. That was the New York Liberty versus the Las Vegas Aces, where the Liberty won 79-67. Surprise, surprise. Asia got a double-double, 24 points, 11 rebounds. Sabrina dropped 23 points. Stewie had 18. Jonquel Jones also had a double-double, 10 points, 17 rebounds. In this game, the Liberty were lethal, and the Aces were not. They were kind of doing everything right on the court except getting into the basket. Like, you had nasty no-look passes by Chelsea Gray that would have been an assist if it went in the basket. Didn't go in the basket. You had Kelsey Plum, like the sauciness of Kelsey Plum, and then it just didn't go into the basket. And these would have been like highlight reels material, like just the way that they were passing the ball and passing the ball really well. But it just didn't go in the basket. So the Liberty showed why they're the best in the league right now. But yeah, it was kind of sad to not see the ball go in the basket for the Aces, because they were playing really well on the court.
Yeah, and so Asia Wilson, about time you stepped up. Yeah, she's only been dropping 30 for the past 2 years. Been the best. Like I said, I just so you all know, I played this one guy did a top 10 best players in basketball, and he had Asia Wilson as number 2. Now she was the only female, but he still had her as the second best player on that. So she's the truth. There's, I mean. We talk about CC and Angel, and they steal a lot of the headlines, but there's the consistency that is Asia Wilson.
Her and Stewie.
Yeah, her and Stewie for sure. I mean, I've always been big on Stewie, and I just can't. I am just salivating for Juju and Paige next year.
I know you are, but yeah, as much as we love all the rookie class, and we've talked about the rookie class a lot, like Sabrina, Stewie, Asia, Kelsey Plum. All these like wonderful players, like they're great.
Yeah. So a couple things before we get into the lawsuits.
The lawsuits.
Okay? All the lawsuits. The Seattle Storm and the Fever played last night, and they're up. Anytime there's Caitlin Clark, things are going to get blown out of proportion. So.
Yep.
After a timeout, now the Fever are hot, all pun intended. The Fever are hot right now. Okay, they're like we're talking about of the Chicago Sky. Figured they'd be kind of on the same projection that the Fever are, but unfortunately they're just not. And like we said, there's could be injuries involved and stuff like that. But the Fever
ebbs and flows too.
Yeah, ebbs and flows. And right now the Fever are really hot right now. And so they just beat the Seattle Storm by almost like 20 points or something like that. There was a timeout that was called, and people are accusing Skylar Diggins of speeding up and bumping CC. CC doesn't give a shit, and but in a good way of like she doesn't retaliate or anything like that. Just keeps walking. Well, then it turns into the Seattle's coach thinking that TC is like intruding on their bench, and then she starts pointing, and it's just a big nothing burger. But we still want to show the video because it was all over social media, because anytime CC is involved with anything, there's a magnifying glass. So let's show that and then let you all figure it out.
Yeah, let us know in the chat how you felt about it.
Right. Play it again, just so you see the coach, and then there was another video. So
yeah, to me, Skylar Diggins is definitely putting in, but that is so minuscule compared to things that I've seen in the WNBA that I'm like, that's a nothing burger. Caitlin Clark getting close to the bench, not even really meaning to. It's basically because she got shoved.
Right.
That's a nothing burger. The coach getting mad. That's a nothing burger. Like literally, It's all good.
Yeah, it's just mountains out of a molehill, but because it's Caitlin Clark,
Yeah.
it gets magnified.
Yeah.
And then last fun thing, I'm just gonna throw this at you. You haven't seen this. I'm throwing it at you. Okay. Before we get into
Okay.
the lawsuits, I want to have smiles on our faces. Okay. This is so Tyrese Halliburton for Team USA now plays for the Pacers.
I love this. I saw this earlier.
Okay. This has to be on the show because it's just so good because it's got the pups. All right,
Got
bringing
the puppy,
pups.
and he had the puppy wearing the medal.
And he understands his role. Now, Jason Tatum, that's a whole different ball game. Tyrese Halliburton, when he got on the team, he was just happy to be there. Okay, he said it before. He goes,
He got his A.
He got his A, even though he didn't do anything. But he did to take a photo op with this pup.
It's so cute.
So cute. Look at it with the pup. Yay! With the pup.
I believe I also sent this to you on Instagram as well. You
probably
saw it
I don't
already.
know, but this was the cutest freaking thing ever.
Look at the puppers.
Look at the pup with the gold medal.
He won the Olympics.
Yeah, he did. He did as much as his dad did. So,
But
his dad did a little bit more. Okay, you weren't there in the practices, but still.
hey, we don't know what that dog did in the
We
practices.
don't know what the dog did. You never know. Hey,
but,
we watched. It doesn't. Hey, there's nothing in the rule says a dog can't play basketball.
Exactly.
You're earbud fans.
But as Ambling Soul said, want to get into the lawsuits?
Yeah.
We're going to get into our first lawsuit here, and unfortunately, it's going to taint one of the teams that we enjoy and one of the coaches that we enjoy a little bit. But Derek Hamby had filed federal lawsuit against the Las Vegas Aces. Hamby is accusing the league and her former team of discrimination and retaliation against her while she was pregnant, culminating in her trade to the Los Angeles Sparks in January 2023. Hamby's lawyer alleges that being traded caused Hamby harm, including lost promotional and or endorsement opportunities, relocation to a more unfavorable tax environment, and the denial of a chance to participate for a back-to-back WNBA championship. The WNBA launched a formal investigation into Hamby's discrimination claims in early 2023 and concluded that the Aces had violated league rules regarding impermissible player benefits. It consequently rescinded the Aces 2025 first-round draft pick and also suspended Becky Hammon for 2 games without pay for violating league and team respect in the workplace policies. Hamby filed a discrimination claim against the WNBA and the Aces with the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission in the fall of 2023, and the federal agency ruled in May 2024 that she has the right to sue. According to the lawsuit, Hamby signed a 2-year contract extension with the team in the spring of 2022, which would have carried her throughout the 2024 playing season. To seal the deal, the lawsuit says the team offered Hamby additional benefits and inducements, like an agreement to cover private school tuition costs for her daughter and allow her to occupy team-provided housing. Less than a month after Hamby signed the contract extension, she discovered she was pregnant again. She told Hammon and the other Aces staff during the summer and publicly announced her pregnancy at the championship victory parade that fall. Hamby's lawyers say that once her pregnancy was public, she experienced notable changes in the way she was treated by Las Vegas Aces staff. She couldn't get a clear answer on when her daughter's tuition would be paid and was informed that she had to vacate team-provided housing, according to the lawsuit. The lawsuit also recounts a January 2023 phone call between Hammon and Hamby in which the coach allegedly questioned her commitment to the team, falsely accused her of signing her contract extension while pregnant, and suggested she wasn't taking her off-season workouts seriously. The lawsuit says Hamby, then 7 months pregnant, was working out regularly as permitted by her medical doctors. Hamby's lawyers say she twice asked, "You're trading me because I'm pregnant." Hammon allegedly responded, "What do you want me to do?" According to the lawsuit, Hammon told Hamby the next day that her time with the Aces is up and that she could pick a place like Los Angeles or Atlanta. Within a week, the team publicly announced that Hamby had been traded to the Los Angeles Sparks. The lawsuit alleges that the Aces engaged in a number of retaliatory acts against Hamby after she went public with her complaints, Some of the examples listed including telling players and staff to cease communication with Hamby, attempting to wrongfully obtain Hamby's confidential medical records after trading her, refusing to extend her an invitation to attend the White House ceremony celebrating their first championship win, and directing video personnel at a 2023 playoff game not to show Hamby's daughter on the screen despite the fact that she was a fan favorite. Now, after all that, Josh, your thoughts?
Weird coming from Becky Hammond. I expected more from her. Really.
Yeah.
That being said, I mean, it is a business at the end of the day. So bad, especially when trades and stuff like that. This is part of the business. This is the dark side of the business. I don't expect. I don't sit there and tell her like you shouldn't have sued, because I see where the mistreatment was. And I'm not trying to defend the business. I'm just saying this is unfortunately how it is. I mean, you know how many times, especially watching Hard Knocks, where a player who is fighting for a position gets injured during training camp, and they're third string, 7th round pick, undrafted, something of that nature. They get hurt. I know pregnant's a different story, but I'm just saying, like, if something different happens that it disrupts the status quo in the situation, it becomes a business. It doesn't become personal, which unfortunately sucks, but that's just part of it. Now, do I think you probably could have kept Hamby on the roster and everything? I don't know, based on your notes, and I haven't read into it enough, okay, because I'm trying to choose my words wisely here. But I don't know exactly where Hamby stood with the team before this all transpired.
She was a rotation player that helped in getting that championship, the first one. Okay. And as we showed, she got a double-double with Los Angeles Sparks. We spoke about that. So, like, and she was on the 3x3 team. So, like, she's not a, like, so-so player.
She's not a so-so player. What I'm saying. But we also don't know how her relationship was with the team.
But at the same time, too, and let's say she got injured and she got traded, that's different. Teams are legally allowed to trade people for whatever reason, except for on the basis of protected status. Pregnancy is considered a protected status. So if you trade someone because they're pregnant, you are now going against the laws.
Yeah, no, and she has a right to sue on that.
So she has a right to sue on that. So to me, this kind of taints the Aces organization and kind of taints Becky Hammond, who, like, we are huge fans of Becky Hammond.
Huge fans of Becky Hammond. We've been proponent of her being the first female NBA coach.
Yeah, and kind of in the same way, Jeremy Miller here too. Becky really overreacted here. It's not like you didn't win the championship.
The Aces were the Aces. They're all Aces last year.
Because basically the main thing is she's not the main reason, obviously. Like, Asia's the main reason, but she was part of the
Kelsey
reason.
Plum too.
Yeah, she was part of the reason why they won their first championship, but she was pregnant during their second championship, so she wasn't playing there. And I'm sure for Becky Hammond, she counted on her being there. And then now when you have bench players that you count on to come into the game, and then they're not there to come into the game, and so then you have to count on other people that you don't think as highly of. That's probably where Becky Hammond here was in the hard spot. But at the same time, like, it wasn't her fault she got pregnant.
No.
Yeah, she got pregnant. That's what happens.
And it's her fault, but that's a different story.
Yeah, like and that's one thing that
not everyone plans on getting pregnant people. That's what I'm trying to say.
And that's one thing that I know that the Players Association has been working on. Each time that they sign new contracts with the WNBA, they're adding more protections for players, pregnancy and maternity leave being one of them. But yeah, I don't know. I don't feel right about it.
No, it's like I said, I'm just trying to go through all the parameters of it as a person, just trying to, like, ask questions, because a lot of times especially for organizations that I keep up with more than WNBA, but I'm getting better at that. But and especially when it comes to pregnancies, that's just a whole different can of worms of in sports that we're just not used to. And I mean, and Sol and Jeremy are definitely doing. I like what their comments are there about this, is because we're just now set, like Sol was saying, they're just now setting up breastfeeding, ambling Sol. But Cheryl was basically saying, they're just setting up breastfeeding areas and child-friendly places for female athletes. It's the thing is, it's now coming to the forefront, and we're hearing it a lot more because you're getting a lot more eyeballs on it. So this has probably been said a bunch, but no one gave a shit. That could make a difference. Not me and Solo just sit back and watch the games. We can go on Twitter and shout out to the ethers all we want to, but we're not the ones, unfortunately, that can make a change in this. Now, granted, you can.
But now that there's more eyeballs on
there's a lot more eyeballs. There's a lot more changes happening.
When you mistreat your players, people are gonna be like, "Oh, that's what your team's like."
Yeah.
So and then also the other thing too is other players are going to hear about that. We already have we don't have it in our notes, but Angel Reese was trying to shoot her shot with the French girl Gabby Williams that almost tied the game, which because Gabby Williams was originally played with the Chicago Sky. But she had a very bad relationship with the Chicago Sky. And she's like, "Oh, girl, I'm not coming back to that team." And Angel was just like, "Oh, those people are gone. It's much better here." And Gabby Williams like, "I'm not coming back to that team." So it's very much there's the way these teams have treated some of these players. They're losing out on the talent of some of these players, and the talent of future players go, "Oh, that's how your team treats those players? I'm not playing for them." But then also you'll have other players that are like, "Oh, Becky Hammond's going to win a championship and I want to win a championship, so I'll play for whoever's going to get me that." So it depends on what your priorities are as a player.
Yeah, no, for sure. But yeah, no, I it's just because if it was any organization, be like, "Yeah, burn them at the stake," but it's Becky Hammond, so I'm just like, "Oh, come on!" I'm not mad. I'm disappointed.
Yeah, it definitely taints her for me. So hopefully, she has some growth, becomes better, as we always hope for when people do the wrong thing. But yeah, I'm not very happy with her right now.
No, and yeah, that is true about Allison Felix. As far as an organization and stuff like that. Unfortunately, and also too being paid what they're worth. That's a different ball game because in this capitalist world, at least in the United States that we live in, it's all, unfortunately, just go watch Better Off Ted. It doesn't matter it's all about return on investment. Yeah. And that's all they care about.
What we've learned too is that there is return on investment and higher ROIs with women's sports. If you actually invest in it, you'll actually gain a bigger ROIs. It's just that you're not even investing at all because you don't think you're going to get those ROIs. And then the rare times that people are like, "You know what, maybe we should invest," they actually end up making a lot of money because I guess everyone watches women's sports.
Right. No, like I said.
Hey, our resident lawyer's in the chat.
Yeah, if we're going to go, hey, Daniel, if you want to go back about this lawsuit and tell me what leg Hamby has to stand on, that'd be great to know on that. But yeah, no, I'm with you. Yes, once you actually invest in it, it's just the fact that no one.
Yeah.
CC is bringing. If it's bad or a good thing, I don't give a crap. She's bringing eyeballs. Angel Reese is on top of that, bringing eyeballs. All it takes is a linchpin. CC is the linchpin that is bringing the eyeballs. We wouldn't be talking about Skylar Diggins kind of like speed running, if you want to even call it that, or Hurley trying to get to the bench because she really wants to hear what the coach had to say. And her hitting in CC, like the game was over, like Jeremy said. But it's now tenfold because CC is just that magnifying glass that is doing it, and I'm hoping that because of with the help of CC and other stuff, because if you haven't noticed, the ratings for the Olympics were out the
Yeah.
nozzle. It was
The
ridiculous.
The women's final. You talked about it last week.
The 100.
It
The
had-
women's final, and then like the men's, even the men's basketball never got the rating that they did at the Olympics. I'll put that because they had 22 million people watching that France, and then the female one was like 14, so 13 or 14.
Yeah,
like that.
and we're seeing too just across the board too gymnastics because of Simone Biles.
Yeah,
Their rating was
Simone
crazy.
Biles,
Katie Ledecky,
Sha'Carri Richardson.
So like women are bringing eyeballs to these
Yeah.
sports. Men
Trinity
are too.
Rodman. Yeah, I can't go out without talking about her.
Hey,
Come
we'll
on.
talk about her later.
Is this not Rev? Wrap it up, and I'm on the screen. Like you definitely know I'm going to talk about Trinity.
I added a special thing to our notes for you because I was just like, oh, Josh is going to like this.
Yeah.
But we should probably wrap up our basketball talk and go on to novelty acts.
Yeah, which novelty acts is basically becoming, it's fall, people. We're getting there, which means football. But we're going to talk about a couple things because it's off season. So it's novelty acts. It's not really anything actually going on in the field per se. There is preseason football going on, but it's more on the off the field stuff. By off the field, we're talking about Tua Tagovailoa. Yes, I pronounced his name correctly.
I'm proud of you.
Yeah. And Brian Flores. When you keep up with football like I do, if you don't pronounce Tua Tagovailoa correctly, I don't know. But Brian Flores, till this day, we thought was unfortunately got the wrong end of the stick and was inappropriately fired. Turns out, according to Tua, at least from his perspective, Brian Flores was trying to screw over Tua, which if no one remembers, when Tua was a rookie, and even when Brian Flores was there, he looked like crap. And then Mike McDaniel took over. He threw it for 4,500 yards last year when he was healthy throughout the whole season. Tua was on Dan Le Batard's show, and this article was posted today, and he basically said this. To put it in the simplest terms, if you woke up every morning and I told you that you suck at what you did, that you don't belong doing what you do, that you shouldn't be here, that this guy should be here, that you haven't earned this right, and then you have somebody else come in and tell you, dude, you're the best fit for this. How would it make you feel listening to one or the other? You see what I'm saying? So basically, he's saying that Flores told him that he sucked. Basically, what if you can read between the lines, which you can make your own assumptions with it, is basically saying that Flores didn't want Tua,
and which is weird because he drafted him.
Right. Well, just saying, like, there's certain times that the coach doesn't want this player, but the organization, the GM, overrule the coach. So then coach is just like, screw that. And then he was just like, and then he has this other, because I think he sued the Dolphins too. Over this.
He did.
And then Mike McDaniel took over. He was like, no, I see the potential. I see what I have. Now, granted, Mike McDaniel is an offensive genius, and Brian Flores is a great defensive minded coach. So, of course, he's not going to connect with the quarterback that he didn't want anyway. So I understand where Flores is going with, and I've been a big proponent, but to sit there, you're just sabotaging your team.
Yeah.
For no reason. Like, you are an NFL
playing
head
mind
coach.
games with your quarterback.
Right. Like, you are, especially a rookie year where he just came off basically breaking his hip, didn't even think he was going to play football for the rest forever. Still gets drafted because it was a tanking for Tua they were doing. The Dolphins took him at 6. I think it was 6 or 7 overall. And some people were still kind of skeptical about him. Then he comes out, still plays like crap. Mike McDaniel takes over. He has his concussions issues, which that's a whole different story on how the team doctor screwed that up. And then this past year, you had the Tua that you were realizing that, okay, he's good. And then they paid him $1 gajillion like a couple weeks ago. So it's just, this is football. It sucks because it sucks to hear from, at least from Tua's perspective, that Flores was trying to sabotage the team, at least his career, for
kind of
his
makes
own.
Me angry as a Dolphins fan.
It sounds like a biggest pissing contest that takes people's lives into effect when it doesn't need to be.
So, as we know about here, people who watch us regularly, I don't watch a lot of American football, but I did actually watch this draft, like with my family because we were wondering, is the Dolphins going to be smart and get Tua? We know he's injured, but all Dolphin fans were like, oh, we hear we're going to go for Tua and hopefully we get him. It's going to drop to us because he's injured, so on and so forth. Because he probably would have been drafted sooner if he wasn't injured. We end up getting Tua. We're happy. And to hear that, and then when Brian Flores was fired and like he was suing and like we only got his perspective of things, I was like, oh damn, the Dolphins organization really screwed up here. And then now hearing and then we get Mike McDaniels, which you know how I feel about Mike McDaniels.
He's so great, It's just like just see how he coaches. It's great.
But and then we end up hearing this, and I'm like, I'm glad Brian Flores is gone.
Yeah, it's
Good
because I was a
riddance.
big proponent of like because the coach, because that was back when the organization was telling the coach to tank, and he's like, no, you pay me to win football games. I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna win football games.
Yeah, no,
And
I was
then
completely on his side.
yeah, and then to hear this, and it's like, oh, you're sabotaging the team as much as the owner wanted you to sabotage the team because the owner wanted you to like it was just it became a pissing contest. I know I'm repeating
Mhm.
myself, but you are affecting people's livelihood with your
Yeah.
pissing contest. Come on.
And these are professional athletes, and part of them performing well is them being confident in themselves.
Mhm.
Well, you can have an amazing athlete that has zero confidence and play like absolute shit, and then the next coach comes along that believes in them and instills that confidence in them, and then they play amazing. That's why coaches matter. I know sometimes people say, oh, a coach doesn't matter, it matters, the players matter more, but coaches matter.
Yeah. Coaches matter. No, it's trust me. If coaching doesn't matter, they wouldn't exist.
Right.
And they just let the players run it, which, according to LeBron James, he doesn't need a coach.
Well, he's a player coach.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a different story. But I like to give that jab in there. All right. Moving on to some off-season things. So Jaden Daniels was officially surprise. He's only, I don't know. You just take him as the second overall pick as a quarterback, and you have no quarterback, and you trade away your starter, and then today it's like breaking news: Jaden Daniels is named starter. No shit. Thank you for that. Obvious reasons. I never understand that with teams. It's like you traded them. You're a top 5 pick, especially at the quarterback position, and then you don't start week 1. Then you failed as an organization. Because you're going to take, if you're a top 5 pick, you're either trading that pick back because you don't need it, or you failed as an organization because you need this guy. Okay, into that stern monologue. And then Gardner Minshew was named as a starting quarterback for the Raiders. He's the best of the worst, basically, at this point. I mean, I like Gardner. He's a great personality and stuff like that, but he's just an okay quarterback when it comes to the National Football League. The reason I kind of buried the lead of the J.J. McCarthy theme, because we have a video to show that going on with J.J. McCarthy, who was a rookie quarterback taking out of Michigan, and he looked pretty good in his first preseason game. Then he said he has some knee issues. They researched it. Now he has a full meniscus repair, which typically for meniscus, ACL, yes, there's no other way around it. Meniscus, you can kind of repair it and you're good for at least like the back half of the season. But the Vikings, unfortunately, did the right thing. It means that it's a weird sentence, but the reason I'm saying it that way is because they are protecting their future.
Yeah.
That they think they have in J.J. McCarthy, instead of RG3ing them with Robert Griffin III, which he came out and said, yes, that organization's smart because it screwed up, because they forced RG3 back too quickly, and it screwed up his career. Yes, they have good luck Sam Darnold because he sucks. But just to give you the history on how cursed the Minnesota Vikings are, here's this.
Of J.J. McCarthy missing his entire rookie season due to a torn meniscus convinces me more than ever that the Minnesota Vikings are cursed as a franchise.
When you look at the history of this franchise, there just seems to be a long-standing tradition of pain and misery and they are just always in the midst of heartbreak. 4 Super Bowl losses, the 1975 Hail Mary game, the 1987 NFC title game, the Herschel Walker trade, Gary Anderson's miss in the 1998 NFC title game, the Giants winning 41-0 in the 2000 NFC title game, Brett Favre's interception in the 2009 NFC title game, Blair Walsh's missed chip shot in the 2015 wild card game, Teddy Bridgewater's knee injury, Kirk Cousins' torn Achilles, and now J.J. McCarthy's torn meniscus. I honestly feel for the fans of this team. Every time they get honestly, truly very depressing.
Pobrecitos.
I mean, yes, I'm in misery as a Cowboys fan, but at least I
At
got
least you're not a Vikings fan.
I got 5 Super Bowls, 3 of them I witnessed. So
Hey, and our resident lawyer, Daniel Haygood, came back with the Derek Hamby. Okay, I'm catching up. We got a PDA claim, it looks like. Those are federal rights, nothing to sneeze at. And then interesting damages claims, wonders how they're going to try to quantify those.
So Hamby got a leg to stand on? Is that what we're here?
Hamby has a leg to stand on.
All right.
But we got some more football news.
Mm-hmm. All right, so Harbaugh offered Colin Kaepernick a coaching position with the Los Angeles. Still hard to say, not San Diego.
Yeah.
Especially now, this is Haygood's bread and butter because he's a Chargers fan. So Haygood, feel free to tell us how you think about this part, and also just how Harbaugh is like basically gutted your team of good players. But that's beside the point. But yeah, Harbaugh said that he reached out to Kaepernick shortly after he took over the Chargers in January about joining him in LA in a non-playing capacity. When speaking about Kaepernick, Harbaugh said, if that was ever the path he was to take, I think that would be tremendous. He'd be a tremendous coach if that's the path he chose, that's how Harbaugh speaks, where he's like says like the same sentence like backwards like Yoda. But Kaepernick played for Harbaugh when he coached the San Francisco 49ers from 2011 to 14. He has been out of the league since 2016, but recently restated his desire to resume his playing career. So, and Kaepernick never came across as a guy who wanted to coach. He always just wanted to get back in the league for obvious reasons. So, I'm glad that Harbaugh did this, at least to give an olive branch to Kaepernick, and it doesn't impress me that Kaepernick turned it down because nothing about him said, I want to coach football. I want to be back in the league. I know you got some couple of notes.
And like side note, he wants to play so bad that we have flag football coming to LA 28 for the Olympics, and he's already said that he wants to represent Team USA. So I'm just thinking of Colin Kaepernick playing flag football at the Olympics for Team USA. That's what he wants to do. He wants to play. He doesn't want to coach.
Yeah. No, he never came across as like, you could tell sometimes we're like, oh, I can see a coach out of that. Like that person's a coach. Kaepernick never came across as that. And that's not a bad thing. You can just tell that certain athletes are just not, they just don't want to coach. They want to play and then move on to other things, other endeavors. But I will say this about the flag football. The quarterback for Team USA right now came out and was very against having pro players. Now, the quarterback for Team USA is 5'7". If Lamar Jackson comes out and says, I want to be the quarterback, he won't be quarterback.
Yeah.
Kick rocks. So nothing against my short brethren. But if one of the better players that are quarterback, if Joe Burrow comes out and says, I want to play quarterback for Team USA, you ain't going to play quarterback. It's just they're going to figure it out. I mean, hell, put Tyreek Hill back there and have him run around for 7 years. Like you're not playing quarterback if the dudes want to play.
I was like, if Tyreek Hill keep him away from the ladies, we don't need more children.
Yeah, him and Antonio Cromartie, they're doing their thing on that. But the the quarterback for Team USA is 5'7". I'm like, and I saw some pictures. I'm like, then how short are the rest of the guys that are playing on the team? Jesus.
Ooh. But ready for some more lawsuits?
Yeah, I'm gonna put you middle screen here so I can full screen So you can go over the Jordan Child stuff. Oh,
No.
okay, fine. You talked me out of it.
Hey, the Jordan Child story continues.
Mhm.
The plot thickens in the Jordan Child's bronze medal debacle. If you haven't seen it yet, we'll leave a link down below where we talk about Jordan Child's medal was stripped from her and all the statements by USA Gymnastics. There was a lot to go over. There's even more now. The head of the three-person panel at the Court of Arbitration for Sports, CAS, which ruled that the USA's initial inquiry over Child's floor exercise score was filed after the 1-minute deadline and awarded third place to Romania, Ana Barbosu, on Saturday, has been representing Romania's interest for years. Dr. Hamid G. Gararvi, I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right. Doesn't matter because he
I'll
screwed
take
us
it.
over.
I'll take it.
His resume, linked on CAS's website, lists multiple legal cases in which he has represented Romania in arbitration cases. The International Institute for Conflict Prevention and Resolutions was the first to report on the legal ties Garari had with Romania, providing that there was an evident conflict of interest. Journalist Christine Brennan reported on August 14th that USA Gymnastics did not become aware of the case Romania brought forward after the Olympics until August 9th, 3 days after it was filed, 2 days past the deadline to submit objections related to panelists, and less than 24 hours before the hearing. This was due to CAS sending case filings to the incorrect email addresses. So they did not send it to the correct USA Gymnastics email address. Further, CAS did not send the conflict of interest disclosures of any panelists to USA Gymnastics, which they're required to, nor has USA Gymnastics seen the disclosure to date. So that was reported August 14th. During the hearing that took place with USA Gymnastics to determine without USA Gymnastics to determine who would get the bronze medal, FIG admitted that they did not have any mechanism in place for monitoring the length of time on appeals at the Olympics. So their whole reason of stripping the medal was that it was past the 1 minute mark. It ended up not being past the 1 minute mark. USA Gymnastics provided video evidence that's showing that it was 47 seconds, not 1 minute. 5, I believe, is what they originally said. But they then themselves also said they didn't have a way to monitor time. So how did they determine the past the 1 minute rule? A little fishy. They also couldn't identify who the person was responsible for logging the appeal for Jordan Childs. They admitted these two things, which the appeal was originally accepted day of competition, and this is why we saw the podium that we saw. This process has shown itself to be either negligent or worse, corrupt. And Jordan Childs did come out with a statement. We have it here. It's a lot. We're going to leave a link down below if you want to read the full statement. But at the end, saying, I'm now confronted with one of the most challenging moments of my career. Believe me when I say I've had many. I will approach this challenge as I have others, and I will make every effort to ensure that justice is done. I believe that at the end of this journey, the people in control will do the right thing. So she has a lot more hope than I do. But Flavor Flav did the right thing. So Flavor Flav, if you don't remember from last week, we talked about, he said, I'm going to get you a bronze clock. And Flavor Flav
got her the bronze clock.
Got her the bronze clock. Look
I'm
at
back.
that thing.
Flavor Flav. Play the game. Yeah, the ladies, they rockin', but damn the game that ain't nobody watching.
All right, we might get canceled for that one, but boy.
Josh, your thoughts on that? 1, beautiful bronze clock there, and 2, just all the added crapola of this.
Hey, good's there in the chat. Is this the whole just to give them paperwork on paperwork and hope they go away? Because this is what this feels like. It's just keep giving them so much paperwork to where they can't, to where USA will just go away, type of thing. I've seen those on enough law shows where they just trounce them in appeals on appeals and appeals and appeals, and they're just like, fine, I'm just done with it. It's not worth it, and all the other stuff. but yeah, there you go. Yeah, they yeah.
Oh yeah, bury
Yeah.
them in Discovery tactic.
Thank you, lawyer. On the actual,
But USA Gymnastics has showed you cannot out Karen us.
no, you're not gonna. Yeah, no, not in the legal system. On that, yeah, we will throw your key into the freaking water, Romania.
Wrong country.
I'm aware, but it's the point. You get what I'm saying. On that, but yeah, it's anytime there's judges involved, even in games that are scored, there's still referees and judges, and so they always make the wrong call. It's this type of situation, that the figure skating situation with Canada and Russia, the 1972 men's basketball, just the egregious, like, there's no reason that should have been called. This is some corrupt bull crap that's going on.
Frickin' Eastern Europeans, man.
Right. So that's what it just
Shout out to our Eastern European watchers.
yeah,
out
what's
there.
up? If you're out there, we still love you, but this is some bullshit. But yeah, and Jordan Childs, just bless. Yes, this is my Southern person coming out. Bless her heart. Like, she should have been in the women's all-around final, but because of a weird, dumb rule, she wasn't able to be in that. And then she didn't think she'd won bronze, told she won bronze, and then they went back and were like, "Nah, you didn't win bronze." And they're like, "But we did. Here's everything." They go, "Nope, we already made it. We don't care."
Yeah.
And it's just like, damn.
Yeah. And then we find out that they admit to not having a mechanism to monitor the length of time, or to having who the correct person to give the appeals to. It's just like, are y'all serious or not? Like, what's going on? Ambling Soul here going, there are so many little things that are messed up on how this appeal situation was handled. And then we have Daniel Haygood. The committee came out looking awful once the nations agreed to a tie and they rejected it. Exactly. Yeah. Romania. And then even we talked a little bit of shit about the Romania girl because she had kind of said some racist stuff, but then she kind of came out and like redeemed herself a little bit. And she even said like the fellow Romanian that ended up getting 4th place, and then Jordan Childs, which is now 5th place, that all 3 of them should get the medal. So she kind of like, she's stepping back a few of the things that she said, probably out of anger. Still not right of her. We still need to hold people accountable when they're racist. But I'm glad that she's stepping back and saying better things now. Yeah, and we got Ambling's on now. Women's gymnastics has been racist and corrupt for many years. It's not a clean sport. It is not. And then I think there's a lot of merit doing it for the principle, so the appeals will go on forever. Yeah, U.S. Gymnastics has legitimately said we are not handing that medal back, and they had to give the Romanian a whole new different medal because the U.S. said nah. So, as I said last week, you're not going to out Karen the United States.
No,
you're just not going to do it.
No. As much money as we invest in a situation in all this stuff, and as much, like, we will back our athletes. It's one thing. It's one thing you can talk shit about USA all the time, but when it comes to international play, we back our freaking athletes.
Yeah, Nadia Comaneci, we talked about her being a little racist as well. So yeah, it's just a lot of corruption. I'm gonna hope that it's negligence, but it was corruption. Like, if we're being honest here. But got you ready for some more lawsuits? It's just a quick update.
Yeah, just a quick update on that. Just how far that's going at this point.
Yeah, so we were talking about Iman Khalif. We've talked about her a few episodes. J.K. Rowling and Elon Musk are named in the cyberbullying lawsuit. So originally the lawsuit was just named to X, formerly known as Twitter, even though I will always call it Twitter. I'm a dead name, that place. But and they originally did that because they wanted to be able to get everyone who said shit on Twitter. but J.K. Rowling and Elon Musk were the two who were talking the most shit. And ever since this lawsuit came out, J.K. Rowling has not tweeted anything. So if nothing else, Iman Khalif got J.K. Rowling to shut the fuck up.
Right. The only thing I would ask with Haygood in the chat. So they're in my minor in broadcasting. Okay, so not even didn't take a bar, nothing. All right, but as far as typically in media in print, if you say something that is libel or AKA incorrect, you could be up for being sued. But if they're saying this on a social media platform, I'm pretty sure there's laws, and that's why I'm throwing this out there for hopefully Haygood can help me out on it. What is that lawsuit called? Because yes, it is libel / slander, and she also could call them in for being harassment of some sort. But as far as the law, as far as media concerned, that social media platform, is that part of that? If the New York Post like printed this as an article saying that this is a man doesn't belong, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
that's different. And that's
like which the Boston Globe did do that, which I'm surprised.
I'm surprised.
Yeah, I'm surprised she hasn't got a Boston Globe
yet.
That's
clear cut, like clear cut. Yeah, whatever my words.
Clear
but
cut.
That's clear cut. That is a media slander / libel. That you can definitely sue for. That's clear no day. That's going to go to court, and then they can figure it out who has the best lawyers. But when it comes to social media, like you go and post
or
on
even
Facebook,
settle before court,
or even settle before, yeah, pretty much is how it's going to work with the Boston Globe if she tries to go after him. But when it comes to that, I don't know where she could go after JK and Elon and actually get money out of them when it's technically not. It's a social media free speech issue.
It's because it is Europe and it's not the United States. And Europe has different laws than the United States. And because she filed in France and got the harassment in France, the laws are different about harassment on social media. They have specific laws about it. I don't know them because I'm not a lawyer,
Right.
but I know that they are very different than the United States. And so that is why, even though wherever they were sitting when they typed those things, because the lawsuit is coming out in France and it was while she was performing in France, it goes under French law.
Right. And I mean, is Logan Paul not mentioned in this crap either?
He's not mentioned right now. Neither Logan Paul or Megyn Kelly. But I think what this lawyer is doing is he left things open to go after different people. So I think right now they're going after the two big fishes, the two people with the biggest amount of money out of everyone who talks shit, and that's J.K. Rowling and Elon Musk. But I feel it's slowly they're gonna get everyone. And even I believe Bella Hadid's cousin, who's a lawyer in the United States, is going to work pro bono in France for this lawsuit as well. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what these European laws, how different they are from the US, and if J.K. Rowling and Elon Musk have to actually pay some money. As Daniel Haygood said, deep pockets.
Yeah, but he also was saying that private speech and all that stuff. So I'm like, that's why I threw out that Boston Globe should definitely be like, you're screwed, but because they can easily prove that and settle out of court. But when it comes to just posting stuff that's not, it could be deemed harassment because it's incorrect and it brought on a lot of harassment towards her. So that could possibly be done, kind of what he was saying here with the Johnny Depp trial. It's like there was a lot of harassment and stuff like that, kind of more of a
that took place. That's why they sued him in England first before the whole thing in the United States. And it is because the laws are different.
Right.
And so if let's say this was LA 28 and all of this happened and they got a lawyer from the United States, this would be thrown out in the United States. But I think it's because it's in Europe they have different laws.
Oh, there's definitely laws for Europe, because I mean they're finding people that are going on Facebook and threatening people, and they're showing up at their house.
Yeah.
At least what I've seen. Now I could be incorrect on that, but I've seen multiple videos of those type of
Yeah.
things where they're showing up for that. So
Yeah. So cyberbullying laws and just like the privacy laws too for the for social media, all of that stuff is very different in Europe than it is in the United States.
yeah, I'm just thinking of from our legal system standpoint.
Hopefully we don't have to hire Daniel as our lawyer, because then that means either someone's screwing us over or we did something bad.
Hey man, you don't quote. Yeah. So yeah, but yeah, no. Thank you, Daniel, for all of your legal insight, at least from the American legal system standpoint on that. So,
Hey,
but yeah,
he said Derek Hamby is probably going to make a lot of money, and
yeah,
so we got that from him.
yeah. Come to me for work injuries.
Anything
else I have to
to
refer out. Yeah. So, all right. Well, you posted this.
Going to kicking and screaming.
Yeah, let's kicking and screaming.
So, because I love you so much, Trinity Rodman, who plays for the Washington Spirit in Washington, D.C., she's made it back to Washington, D.C., and I wanted you to view this video. And normally we wouldn't post this because this is not really a story at all, but this is for Josh. This one's for Josh.
If you haven't watched the episodes, my girl Trinity Rodman's, she's amazing.
Are you happy?
Every day. But yeah, no.
The Eagle has landed. She's back in the U.S.
She's back in the U.S. She is.
She took the pink out.
Yeah, I like the pink.
I like the pink too. But we have bigger news. We'll be a little bit more serious than Trinity Rodman going caca. But Mauricio Pochettino has agreed to become the new U.S. men's national team head coach with the responsibility of leading the team into the 2026 World Cup. In bringing in Poch, the U.S. will be bringing in a coach who has coached some of the world's best players, including Messi, Mbappe, Neymar at PSG, and has been shown to have teams punch above their weight, which is something the U.S. desperately needs right now. We've talked about that a few times on this show. He also has a background in player development at Southampton, which is where he had a connection with the current sporting director of U.S. Soccer, Matt Crocker, who was the sporting director of Southampton when Pochettino was there. This is a person who many fans, including myself, thought was out of reach. We weren't even dreaming of Pochettino coaching the U.S., but like we dreamed a little bit of Jurgen Klopp just because like it's Jurgen Klopp.
It's Jurgen Klopp.
But like Pochettino was kind of in the same vein of like a Pep Guardiola, which is not happening, a Thomas Tuchel. But Matty Croc made it happen. And we're doing pretty well with one former Chelsea manager in Emma Hayes. So let's bring on another Chelsea manager in Mauricio Pochettino. Well, just change their shirts to U.S. gear.
Yeah.
Like, and those are our managers.
We're going to bring them home.
We got an English woman and an Argentinian. How you feeling about it?
Well, as my favorite club being Chelsea, I fully support 1,000% of Emma Hayes.
Chelsea, boo.
When I realized when I played FIFA, Didier Drogba was the GOAT in that game. Okay, he wasn't the GOAT on the field, but he was my favorite player. And guess what? He played for Chelsea. So
I know why you're a Chelsea fan. I know.
But the masses don't. You never know that. Okay. But yeah, no. Yes. Emma Hayes is awesome. We really haven't talked, just me and you, on exactly how great this dude is, but it feels like we landed a golden goose here. Especially not named Klopp. Because Klopp would have been. Ooh.
Klopp would have been. This is literally the only better choice than Mauricio Pochettino right now that is like of available options to us would have been Jurgen Klopp.
Yeah.
Um,
Who was Man City's coach that was on Ted Lasso?
Pep Guardiola.
Pep. Okay. That was the only. That was the only like just.
Yeah.
Of
And Pep is one of those like he's not leaving Man City now.
no.
And maybe in the future, he's a future possibility because he loves the United States, and he'll never coach Spain because he's a proud Catalan. But yeah, this is one of those that like, oh, we got Pochettino.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Now here's the question I will ask for you, because he's coached Captain America before, right?
No.
When he was, I thought he did. I thought it was.
No. That was Thomas Tuchel.
Okay. Well then, forget what I was getting ready to say.
Yeah,
I thought they coached him before.
He coached Chelsea after Pulisic left for AC Milan.
Oh, okay. So that's where I got it mixed up.
Yeah.
I knew Pulisic played for Chelsea, and I thought they played under him.
Yeah.
Okay, then never mind. That goes against my them running the asylum type of thing. That was it before.
And then Pochettino also, an interesting thing about him is that he believes in energies and giving off good energy, and that when you put good energy in the world, you receive good energy back. And then there's this thing about him that in his office, he puts lemons in his office because lemons are supposed to ward off bad energy. And that when he was the Chelsea manager, he had a lot more lemons in his office at Chelsea than any of the other places that he's been on because of all the bad energy.
Yeah, there's a lot of struggle
Chelsea.
bus going on at Chelsea. That hasn't been a good few years. Hey, we still got that Champions League from like 8 years ago, so there you go. But
it's sooner than 8 years ago. It's like it was what 2021.
2017, 2020. No, I thought it was 2017, 2018.
Chelsea
when they won the Champions League the last time they won it.
Because
it could have been 2021. I'll take your word for it. I don't keep up with as much as you do.
2016 and 2021.
See, 2016. I told you I was. I knew that one.
Yeah, no, but the one that Pulisic won was back in 2021.
Right. But no, this is other than getting Pep or Klopp, you couldn't have this is you hit a home run with it. Now, hopefully he can. We thought we hit a home run with the German guy way back when.
Klinsmann.
Klinsmann, but then the whole Landon Donovan thing, and it's just a big mess. So hopefully, with his positive energy and his lemons, he can right the ship. Emma Hayes, she's starting off knocking it out of the park. I mean, she got the gold medal, so in her first gold there. So I remember I saw this like a couple of times, but I had to wait for like the fourth or fifth of like, yes, this is our coach before I sent it to you. And I'm pretty sure you saw the same thing of like, oh boy, is this please be true? Please be true. Since Klopp and Pep, we couldn't get them. And this, like we talked about before, this kind of was a pipe dream, and hey, the dream came true. So hopefully
dream came true. And right now, nothing has been signed on the dotted lines because Chelsea still owes him some money. But he has pretty much said, yes, I am willing to coach. And it feels like it's one of those that like it's everything but the signature.
Right.
Currently right now. And it's being reported by all of the big dogs. So please, Chelsea, don't fuck this up for us.
Don't mess this up. We got our guy.
Come on, Todd Bowley. You're an American.
Right.
Like, help out your country.
We're right in that decent, 2-year mark to where we can get our dudes right, get to the World Cup, make some noise.
Yeah.
So, we've been saying all the time, not to interrupt you, we're saying all the time, we have the roster to make a splash. We just need to put it together
to make a run. Yeah. I don't believe that we're going to win the World Cup. That's not happening. But I do think that we can make a deep run, and I do think that we can punch above our weight. And we've punched above our weight in the past with different squads, but the starting talent isn't as high as the talent we currently have.
No.
So if we take the talent that we have now and the mentality of the players that we had in the past and punch above our weight, we can make it pretty far.
And I'm pretty sure your boys over the Scuff podcast are salivating right now.
Oh yes, if this is they're not paying me to say this, but go follow Scuffed on Patreon. All of their podcasts are great. You also have a chance to go and we're gonna see a little bit two of the videos, but you get the chance to go on trips. I went with it to Italy with them earlier this year, which we'll talk about in just a little bit. But yeah, I'm very excited.
Yeah. So, all right.
But
So let's
want
get
to see Americans being awesome?
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's watch Americans. We got some Americans that are scoring goals. The European leagues have started up either last weekend or this weekend, so we got a few Americans.
And then we're apparently rappers. I like that. I think that is a good thing. We're rappers. We're wrapping it up. Rappers. All right.
And then we got Jeremy Miller here with the lemon. Keep those lemons coming if they get rid of bad energy.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what the Cowboys need to do is put some lemons in there. But center back Austin Trusty scores the first goal in Sheffield United's 4-2 win against Wrexham in the Carabao Cup.
Boo, Wrexham. I love Wrexham.
Predictably. In comes the latest Sheffield United corner kick. Free header off the line incredibly.
Wait.
It's gone in.
Hopefully it can the internet do its thing.
James Jones thought he kept it off the line. But Sheffield United celebrated equaliser.
Yeah. This was the equalizing goal that of 1-1. They ended up winning 4-2, but yeah, we have.
On the club. Let's see how close this was. It's a free
that's
header.
beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to tell with the naked eye, isn't it? You have to trust the goal line technology. Goodness me, that is
barely.
So close.
Yeah.
So
barely.
They have goal line technology, unlike at the
protesting.
Unlike at the Copa America, so they know that it's actually a goal. Then the next person, he doesn't just have one goal. He got two. And he scores 2 goals in Coventry's 3-2 win against Oxford United in the English Championship. Which, for those at home, that's the 2nd division in England. A little passing around.
With the cross and in! Haji Wright with a brilliant header.
It's brilliant.
Coventry
brilliant.
Off the mark.
Isn't it?
Their first league goal of this campaign.
Isn't it nice to watch goals again? Because the Olympics didn't let us. Oh, no, get rid of that.
Yeah. Well, I tried to click it. Anyway,
yeah.
I think we clicked at the same time. It's probably why.
And then the next one. Let's go to the next goal. Yeah, we're gonna get flagged for that noise there at the end.
And the flag stays down. And here's the chance for Haji Wright.
And open net.
With the slide.
5 minutes into stoppage time.
He gets the winning goal there.
Surely this time, that will win it for Coventry. The 3rd time they've been in front. Despair for Oxford United.
See, we got players, guys.
Yeah, we got players.
Oops.
Really well taken.
If I remove it, let me remove it.
No, we're gonna be weird. All right, I'll just wait for you to click it, and then I'll get hit.
You can bring it up. I'll remove it so that way we don't get taken down.
This is how we learn, internet.
The next one, Josh Sargent scores the first goal in Norwich's 2-2 tie against Blackburn Rovers in the English Championship.
Doyle onto Sargent. Sargent! What a brilliant strike from the American.
From the American.
And he's leveled things up at Carrow Road. It's took him 5 chances, but he's got there finally.
And where's this at?
Put back by Doyle.
This is in Norwich.
Ah,
Picked out Sargent. And wow, that was emphatic.
emphatic by Sargent.
But yeah, look at that. Like, steals the ball
Ah, it's
there.
a
Nice
beautiful lead.
pass.
Chance number 5.
Yeah, and I didn't
Damn it.
watch
again.
this game, but apparently Josh, like, he had a lot of shots on goal that just did not go in, and that
Yeah.
one finally went in. So
I took it by he's saying number 5.
yeah, chance number 5 finally
Yeah.
goes in. And then the last one, Tim Weah scored the second goal in Juventus's 3-0 win over Como in the Italian Serie A.
Touch football, part of a plan, technique.
Such a somber voice.
Here's the exciting Yildiz again, running at Moreno. Yildiz for Vlahovic and Weah!
Oh, that was beautiful.
Did it
Yes.
cross the line? It did.
That was
Tim
beautiful.
Weah gets his first Serie A goal in added time at the end of the first half. He was moving very gingerly just a few short minutes ago. It looked like he was headed off
Oh.
injured,
Tim
but he
Way.
hammered that in off the underside of the crossbar.
I know him.
And Tim Weah, who scored a stunner in the Coppa Italia last season.
And for those who don't remember, Tim Weah is the one that punched the Panamanian that ended up getting the red card that basically got Greg Berhalter fired.
Yep. That's Tim Way.
That's Tim Weah. Which usually he's a very calm, cool, collected dude. So that was the surprising part. But maybe he knew something we didn't. And now we got Pochettino. Side note, I got to see both Juventus and Como live when I went to Italy earlier this year with the Scuffed podcast. Como was in Serie B at the time, but I basically got to see them get promotion.
Yeah.
So now they're in the same league as Juventus. But this first video that we're showing here, this was me at the Juventus game. And you'll see the differences between these two stadiums. It was cool to see, just to experience the entire stadium singing.
Yeah.
The next video, this is at the Como game. And just notice how different these two stadiums look from one another. And that was the supporter section. Like a high school stadium.
They're definitely far away from the pitch. That's for sure. The first stadium looked more like Nashville's, and this looked more like like you said, like a high school.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. So those two stadiums are now in the same division. So whenever Juventus plays away at Como, they're playing in that stadium. Which Como, unfortunately, that day of the game, it was raining, so you really didn't get to see the mountains in the background.
Right.
But when the sky is clear, you literally have the Swiss Alps in the background, and
Nice.
it was beautiful, absolutely beautiful. But that is all we have for soccer. Did you enjoy our Americans scoring goals?
It you give us the Chelsea Argentinian along with our great players. I'm very excited right now, a lot more than I was about 2 months ago.
There you go.
For us going forward. And Emma Hayes, enough can't be said. And we have Trinity Rodman, so we're gonna win. We're gonna win the World Cup.
All the things.
For that. But for all those out there, thank you all so much for joining us in the chats. Please like, subscribe, ring the doorbell, all that. We still have obviously our other great content that we have coming from you here at the REV or Ruckus EV channel. Obviously tomorrow we'll be doing Game Dudes. We'll probably do Ember Knights tomorrow. We might do Divinity Original Sins. We always have other co-op type games we like to do. We really don't like to do player versus player. We like to do player versus environment. So if there's any of those type of games that you would like us to play, please let us know over at the Discord. Also, too, we have obviously our Ruckus Wrestling with me and Justin Toner, breaking down all the things that is, was, and will be in the world of wrestling. Like I said, please join us. We're still planning on doing our live stream of Bad Blood in October here on the channel. As well, and also our fantasy football league is ramping up here. Sol and I are going to try and get 2 championships. We already have one, and I don't think
Hilltoppers.
So the Soulful Hilltoppers will rise again. Unfortunately, last year wasn't our best year. I blame it on myself because Sol's perfect, so therefore she doesn't do anything wrong. So it's all on me. I take blame for it. For that. But yeah, Daniel, whatever. You got lucky last year. That's all I have to say about that. But yeah, you lawyered me last year. Is that a good way to put it? I don't know. But we'll start ramping that up. So we'll have our draft on the 26th. We'll be going live for that. Me and Tushka.
Join our Discord down below if you want any of that info. We have the link there.
Yep. Link down there to let us know how bad our draft picks are, especially Daniel's, since he's still here in the chat. So let us know that. Yes, and his Chargers, he has no playmakers anymore, so I don't know what playmaker he's gonna get there for that. But anything, yes, you said like, subscribe, join the Discord down below, all the fun stuff. For anybody that's watching this that wants to still get into the YouTube Spaces and do their own show or anything like that, we would love to help you out. So please join our Patreon, patreon.com/RuckusEV, as we will help you out, produce your own shows and stuff like that, get you off the ground, and we'll have fun doing it. So that's all I've got.
Perfect. Are we ready for our moment of Zen?
Yes, we're ready for a moment of Zen. Add it to the stage.
In coaching speak, they say bringing attacks to completion. He's gotten a lot better, consistently good at, okay, you get in areas, can you get a shot off, cross off? Does it turn into a corner, a throw in? Something positive in the attacking third.
There's plenty of guys out there watching the show that can't, in their relationships, can't bring those tasks to completion. So they got a lot to work on.
I think they have medicine for that.
Yeah. Also, there's certain areas of the pitch you have to focus on.
Not always where you think that you're supposed to be. You gotta
a lot of areas. Just go right for the goal.
You gotta massage a lot of areas. Yeah. You gotta work both sides of the ball. I don't even know what to
work the wings. Okay, I'm looking at your heat map, buddy, and you're all over. You're too defensive.
Oh, they're brilliant. Those guys are brilliant.
Well, goodbye, everyone. Thank you for watching.